Difficult for me to speak English, but Diana has an enormous headache and she cannot translate me. So we are going to speak about GL+, but if I speak about GL+, I am obliged to speak about frequencies, about auriculotherapy, about VAS. So, in fact, what I am going to say is a sort of a sum up of auriculotherapy and auriculomedicine. In this machine, we can do with this machine many treatments, different treatments. This machine has been built by a company, Italian company, which is called Micropad. And Micropad, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, came to me and asked me to imagine a device, a medical device for auriculomedicine. So I imagined many possibilities for the device, and this device has been built with my own ideas. I have no interest in the selling of this device. I was paid as a conseiller, but a consultant, but that's all. So this device, for me, is the most important device we have in auriculotherapy to treat the points and to make some diagnosis. Because with this device, it is possible to make diagnose and to treat the points. So I am going to describe this device. You see that this device has a body and two end pieces. And these two end pieces, you can remove them. There is two batteries, normal batteries. We call in France LR6. I don't know if it's the same terminology. And when you buy this machine, this device, you buy also an infrared detector. This infrared detector is only to check if the device is working well. I shall show you. You have this detector. So you see that with this device, we have two end pieces on the body of the GL+. But the device is sold with three end pieces. Three. One is red, one is infrared, and the third one is microfibers. It's a question of the size of the spots. With the microfibers, we have a very small spot on the ear. So red, microfiber red, and infrared. I tell you now that I use only red because I don't use infrared. For me, it's not necessary. But it can be used for certain circumstances. So the GL+ is used in auriculotherapy to treat the points. So it's a treatment, it's made for treatment. And also it's used to make diagnosis, but only if you know how to take the VAS. If you want to make diagnosis with this device, you must take the VAS. If you want to treat the point in auriculotherapy, it is not necessary to take the VAS. We can use this device without taking the VAS, only to treat the ear points. So, I am going to describe some technical properties of this device. I ask you, you can take your device for people who have, put the batteries and we are going to work together. So have you the batteries? It's good for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So first thing, on, you push the button, the red button here, to put on. The first thing we can do is to balance the brightness of the display. Some people want to have a very bright display. Some people want to have not a very bright display. So for that, it's necessary to push in the same time two buttons, the button program and the button frequency. So you push the two buttons and you will see that there is a number which appears on the display. Push the two buttons, this one, frequency and program. Push the two buttons and you have a number. Do you see the number?
Yes.
20. 20. So you continue to push on the button program. You push, and with these two buttons, frequency plus frequency minus, you can adjust the brightness. Maximum means 32. I am going to repeat. Are you able to do that?
No.
So,
No.
if you want to adapt the brightness of the display, you must first put on. Okay, it's on. And in the same time, you push the two buttons in the same times. The button program and the button frequency. And you will see on the display, it will appear a number. This number goes from 0 to 32. 32 with the brightness and 0. You have not a very important brightness. And after you can modulate the brightness with frequency minus or frequency plus. I am going to show you. Yeah, you see? Yeah. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Did you see? This one is the old one.
It was working fine, and then I did when we were so we have to. That was embarrassing. I didn't even think to do the other. Anyway.
That was playing with mine when I go in low. I could not see the A or the B.
Alors, look, fantastic, fantastic, good.
Yeah. Seriously? I think yours is different. Because this is the brightest you look at.
Yeah, mine is that right.
Okay.
Hers got brighter.
Yeah, hers is super bright. But
That is
I just
old one. This old one.
Yeah,
yeah, this
that's
is mine. It's not bright enough. But hers? That one's like.
Is it okay, John?
You got a whole host buttons down if you want to walk.
Then it gets lazy.
Sorry. That is the only one. That is a new one.
Those are mine.
So I remind that on, off is the red button. If you let your GL Plus with on, after 2 or 3 minutes, it will be off automatically. You have also on the GL Plus a little white button near the on-off, the red one, and this button is only to have a light on the my machine. Yes, to have a light, and this light is to do the white light test. So when you want to take the pulse, you can light the face, for example, and you have a pulse reaction, you have a VAS reaction. So this machine is very good. Sometimes I used to see the throat or it's good to have a light. So, you see how is the display. And the display can be changed. There is just near the display a little button with 2 little arrows. I am going to ask you to push first the button frequency plus. And you are going to see that there is a letter which is A. This device has been done for the right-handed people, but also for the left-handed people. So for the left, we can change the place of the letters. So we must, if we want to change, we must push the button more than 1 second, and we are going to change the place of the letters. So, push this button more than 1 second. Look, no. You go only on A, you have A, and you press the button, and now you have changed, but you must only press one button and not two buttons in the same time. Okay, is it good for you? It's okay? So, you see that we have two handed pieces. And the machine, the device, can product some frequencies, emit some frequencies only with one piece and not two. To change the emission of the frequency, to change from here to there, it's necessary to press the same button very quickly. So you see it's red here, and it's blue there. You have not blue, me I have blue, to show you the difference. But blue does not exist, it's only for me. Okay? So, that is for left-handed people. That is for right-handed people. So it's very interesting to work like that. So, I shall explain in detail after how to use, but I want to tell you that all these buttons in this part of the device, of the GL Plus, all these buttons are only for diagnosis. Only for diagnosis. You see that you have a white part here, and all these buttons are only for diagnosis. So when we use all these buttons, the white light, the bit, BF and HF, it's only with the VAS. And all the buttons here, they are for treatment. We can use frequency plus, frequency minus, and the other for treatment. But all of that are only for diagnosis. So HF, BF, and BT, they are used for diagnosis of laterality. Only. Only. We can use also the frequency for diagnosis, but mainly for treatment. So here, frequency plus or minus, you will see how it works. We have all the frequency A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L. So the 7 frequencies of Paul Nogier plus L. And this machine, this device, is called GL plus because there is the frequency L. On many devices, you cannot find the frequency L. On this one, it's GL plus. G must say generator, and L plus with L. This button is the percentage of the frequency. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and we can have, for example, A minus 10%, A minus 20%, A minus 30%, or A minus plus, A plus 10%, plus 20%, and plus 30%. This button, DT, it means detection and treatment. It's a question of power of the beam. There is the beam, and in detection the power is very low, and for treatment the power is much more important. So, with the GL Plus, we can treat the points in the ear. And you know that in the ear, we have two kinds of points. The painful points and the electrical points with a lower resistance. With the GL Plus, it's not possible to treat the painful point. It is not possible. If you have a painful point, you must treat the painful point with a needle, or with a massage, or with something which hurts the point. But the electrical points, we can treat them with the frequencies. And the indication of treatment of this point are frequencies. Frequencies A, B, C, D, E, F, G, L. It depends on the methodology. So, when we want to treat the ear points, first, we must detect the points with an electric device, electric detector. And when we have found the point with the electric detector, we can treat the point with a frequency, with this GL+. I repeat that if the point is painful, and only painful, you cannot treat the point with that. So, the points are painful generally when there is a pain in the body. If there is a pain on the foot, there is a painful point in the ear. If there is a pain on the wrist, there is a painful point in the ear. But it is not possible to treat this point with that. But if there is a functional trouble in the body, for example, constipation, for example, depression, something which is not painful, which is only functional, that is absolutely perfect. All the functional disease, we must treat the points with the frequencies. So that is to show you that first we must detect the point with electric detector. I use Agiscope of CDTLEC, but there is a new one which is called Premium 20. Premium 20. And you use what you want. Which is important to know for you is the history of the frequencies. Paul Nogier, at the beginning, discovered frequencies very low, very slow frequencies. It was frequency A, 2.28, frequency B, 4.56, frequency C, 9.12, frequency D, 18.24, and frequency E, 36.5. And frequency F, 73, and frequency G, 146. So, historically, the first frequencies discovered were this one. But the factories who built the devices have chosen the harmonics of these frequencies. You see that all these frequencies are the double of the others. If you take the G frequencies, is 146. If you make the double of G, you have 292. And 292 is has exactly the same properties as A. So, because it was easier to do, the factories Cedatellec built some device with A 292, B 584, and so on. But they kept F and G the same as the first frequencies. When I say that A 2.28 has the same property as 292, it's not exactly true. It's why on this machine we can have for A the two frequencies if we want. So take your GL Plus and go on A. And you press more than 2 seconds on the button frequencies, and you will see that A will become, yes, you see? You see? See? Look.
All the frequencies off.
So I repeat. Take your GL Plus with A.